Be careful, you guys. They're attacking Trump supporters in public now. Annetta Catchings, the former chair of the Alexandria GOP in Northern Virginia, she said that this woman went insane with her friend holding her back. Here's the story from Catchings. Watch.
I had a very fiery interaction with a liberal this morning. This is not foreign for me. It happens. People look at me, they assume that because I'm Black and because I'm a Black female, obviously I'm a Democrat. So these attacks tend to happen, but not as ferocious as today's attack. So a group of us had just left a CBS interview. They wanted to talk to some Trump supporters, female supporters, and ask various questions concerning the election. So after leaving that interview, the last question in that interview was, how is it living here in Alexandria, the Black Lives Matter city, when you're a minority, when you are a political minority, right? So that was the last question. We all gave our opinions on that. And then we proceeded over to this restaurant called Tata's in Alexandria. It was maybe 2 blocks away from where we were. We get our coffee, pastries, we take our seats, and we're sitting at the table. We're kind of mulling over some of the questions and answers from the interview. And at some point I say, as a conservative woman, I could never vote for Kamala Harris because of, and I gave reasons, right? And then this white woman sitting next to me leans over, and this is where you will see the first video pick up when she leans into me, so much so that I have to pull back, right? And she says, unless she's running against a convicted felon, a criminal.
Now, of course, I got the actual clip to show you guys. Watch this.
So I called it right.
And am I a liberal? Do I disagree?
Are you a Democrat?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so the only people, the only people who ever challenged
Why did you just switch yourself in our conversation? Just shut your mouth.
It means that you understand what someone is saying.
Okay.
I think we now a sex offender and accused of espionage, indicted for espionage.
Like I said, the only people who ever challenged me are white Democrat women.
I am a 35-year national security expert.
Oh, you're so smart.
Who you are? Okay.
Everybody can believe in what they want to believe.
No.
Thank you. Will you tell her we were having a private conversation before she came over in my face saying, am I serious? So no, don't talk to me. Talk to her. You and I already know who is the one. Yeah, you and I already know. So take your attention right over here. Right over here.
Denial.
Watch out, lady.
It's gonna be
You're trying me. You're trying me.
Annetta.
No. Why do you keep looking at me when she's the one agitating it? No. If you're going to be a mediator, then do it correctly. Address the person who you clearly see got up and got in my face. Man, go sit down somewhere.
Right.
Placating to these people.
Right.
Now, seriously, she was shouting that she's a national security expert. When Trump becomes president again, maybe he ought to remove whatever low-level security clearance this woman may be holding. Am I right, guys? I mean, did you see the video? That woman in pink was just downright getting in Anita's face, and she was the one that started it. Now, I gotta say, I think she seriously needs some severe repercussions for the way that she just accosted Anita out of nowhere. And Anita, everyone can see she's the better person in that exchange, right? It's just a shame that the lies and the propaganda have just gotten to the point where black Trump supporters are being attacked in public like this. Because it wasn't just that white woman. Even the manager piled on, according to Anita. Watch.
Having this back and forth. And I asked her, I said, why is it always the white female liberals who challenge me, who feel that it is their duty and their responsibility to lecture people on how they should vote? Why is it always you guys? So then that set her off, and I kind of knew that it would, right? And so we're just going back and forth. And then she proceeds to tell us how uneducated we are, because that's what they go to, right? You're uneducated. You don't know any better. We need to tell y'all how to think. We need to tell you guys how to vote, right? So she tells me what her job is. She's some high security person, whatever, which is kind of scary, because people who have that kind of access and authority, they are very partisan and they are unhinged. And you can only imagine how maybe untrustworthy they might be in their jobs. But so she goes on to tell me this. I then do go in on her, and I tell her I don't really give a crap who you are, what you are. So then that's where the video kind of picks up. What you won't see is that, so the manager comes over. He's trying to bring calm to the situation, but he's only talking to me. He's not talking to her. She's unaffected by anybody. No one dares talk to her, even though they know that she knows when to stay quiet and when to bite. She has that ability, right? Me, no. I'm just going to come at you. I'm going to ask you. I'm going to challenge you. Why is this woman sitting here and she just attacked me? Blah, 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 right?
I mean, can you imagine just how much worse these people are going to get after Donald Trump wins? This is probably going to be nothing compared to what they're going to be going through after our former president, Donald Trump, retakes the White House. You know what I mean, guys? I mean, seriously, what an insane attack from this woman. And let me just say, guys, I think that this confrontation between a black Trump supporter and a white liberal attacker, it speaks volumes about the Democratic Party, doesn't it? I read a breakdown of the interaction. They said that, one, it confirms that white liberals cannot stand it when non-whites break from their grip. Two, this angry lady who likely watches The View while guzzling gallons of white wine exemplifies the condescending attitude that has led to the dissolution of the backbone of the Democratic Party, working class voters. What do you guys think? I mean, Annetta Catchings, she was just there grabbing something to eat and discussing the questions from the previous CBS interview that had wrapped up. Then this white woman just goes off on her. I'm just gonna say, you guys, having a different opinion doesn't make somebody ignorant or in denial. The woman claims to be a national security expert, but if that's true, it's just concerning that she's somehow working for our country's security. Somebody who reacts so strongly and gets this out of control at your friendly neighborhood coffee shop just because they overheard something that they didn't like? I don't know, guys. She might not be well suited to handle classified information. And honestly, I don't think anybody was particularly interested in her credentials or degrees. She really didn't have to recite her whole freaking resume there. Last I checked, this is still a free country, not a nation where the so-called educated voices are heard only. Everybody has a right to express their views, am I right? Tell me if I'm the only one who notices this. A lot of liberals act like their academic achievements give them some sort of greater authority in discussions. It's as if they're saying that their degrees make them immune to criticism. But I think the person on video showed us spending tens of thousands of dollars on education doesn't automatically make somebody wiser. Sometimes it means that they've actually been influenced by biased, agenda-driven professors. It couldn't be any clearer. For this woman, tolerating somebody else's different opinion is something that she just could not comprehend. But then again, there's also the question of whether she would have confronted this Anita as a Trump supporter if she were not black. Let me know if you guys have experienced anything like this too. White liberals especially seem all too eager to criticize non-white conservatives, particularly women. Ironically, if we go by the left's own standards, this is a clear case of white privilege at play. And the whole thing has taken the internet by storm. One X account commented that they're going to start yelling at meetings that they're a national security expert. See if that helps them. Another one commented on the hubris of this white woman to eavesdrop on a conversation and then felt compelled to judge and berate a conservative black woman for her beliefs. Now that is white privilege. Radio show host Tammy Bruce also weighed in on the issue, saying how horrible horrible that women would treat an independent woman in this fashion, but also shocking what's happened to liberal white women. The conservative commentator also called it bigotry, the patronizing, the belief of having sole possession of the truth. Just awful. And guess what, guys? The internet actually found the woman who attacked Annetta. Says here, Patti Morrissey, CEO of Global Foresight Strategies, retired DoD, state ODNI federal employee. Patricia is a longtime Tim Kaine donor and former Democratic candidate for State House. Another post said that Morrissey is still over on Instagram lying. Now, if you read how she described the altercation on her IG, she actually typed out self-described black woman as if she's doubting Anita's race. Does she doubt Kamala Harris's race, being black? She actually posted this without the slightest bit of hesitation, you guys. That's it. It just can't get any crazier than that, guys. But hey, I guess that's Biden-Harris liberal America for you, huh? Let me know your thoughts, guys. Do you think America will come back to sanity once Donald Trump wins? Drop a quick yes or no in the comments down below, guys. And while you're at it, don't hesitate to subscribe to the channel, tap that notification bell for more updates like this one. It's totally free. And speaking of, we are not done with this takedown of the Democratic Party. So stay right there, guys. We're going to go ahead and jump back in. So going straight to the top of the ticket, Kamala Harris just tried lecturing black voters not to vote for former President Trump. Here's an exact quote from her recent appeal to black voters. Part of what we need to help people understand, don't think you're in Donald Trump's club. You're not. He's not going to be thinking about you. You think he's having you over for dinner? You think when he's with his buddies, his billionaire buddies, he's thinking about you or about what we need to do to deal with addressing, for example, my work around what I'm doing to address disparities in black men's health? This during an interview on a podcast with NFL star Shannon Sharpe. But I would be remiss if I didn't flip the question around and ask it to her. Is Kamala Harris going to be inviting any of her voters to her barbecues? Is she going to invite any voters to her house to hang out? So how is this a valid argument to try to pin it on Trump? She ain't doing none of that either. But when she was asked directly why there were black voters who support Trump, Harris could not give a straight answer. Instead, she deflected and asked, should he be president of the United States? Well, a lot of colored voters seem to think so. A recent poll found Latino voters now back Trump by 49% to 38%. Black voters prefer Harris 72% to 17%, but that 55-point edge is significantly less than the advantage Democrats traditionally enjoy. Even among young voters, the joy seems to be fading from Kamala Harris's crackling. You see, Harris is continuing to outperform former President Donald Trump among Gen Z and millennial voters, 47% to 35%. But the real headline is the very real and ominous fact that she's struggling to match the historically high support that Biden enjoyed from voters under 30 during the 2020 election, especially among young Americans of color. Because see, with the race on razor-thin margin, Kamala Harris is going to need all the help she can get. And guess what, guys? It looks like it's not coming. As Kathy Cohen, a professor of the University of Chicago, commented, for young voters of color, there is a kind of a tentative feeling about the effectiveness of democracy anyway. So here's the Gen Forward poll for young voters. So yeah, Harris does enjoy support among 6 in 10 young black Americans. We'll give her that. But it's a drop compared to Joe Biden's standing in Gen Forward's poll from 4 years ago when more than 7 in 10 backed him. Even Latino political and business leaders in Pennsylvania have privately warned the Kamala Harris campaign that it is not doing enough to engage Latino voters and elected officials in the state, imperiling her chances of defeating Donald Trump here. Now, this is according to 2 insider sources who saw this at a recent reception in Pennsylvania. Now, to back it up, interviews with a dozen Latino Democrats officials and strategists in the key swing state show just how Latino men in particular still are not on board with Kamala Harris. Now, that's true in Nevada and Arizona, 2 highly diverse states where Kamala Harris faces problems with diminishing support among Latino voters. And Harris's performance with Latino voters in Pennsylvania, home to about 580,000 registered Latino voters, could tip the entire election. As one anonymous Democratic pollster put it, they don't hold on to Nevada or Arizona or Pennsylvania, much less have a chance in Georgia unless they turn out the Latino community for Harris. Now, again, the voters just aren't showing up for Harris. And for good reason, too. Latinos frequently cite the economy as their biggest issue heading into the election, and that's still the biggest weakness for Harris. One Latino voter in Pennsylvania pointed out that a lot of people in the Latino community, they're feeling that they're living paycheck to paycheck and they're struggling. They also bring up a very good point that when we see how much support goes elsewhere, think Ukraine, overseas to illegal immigrants, you hear what people say, what about us? Now, doesn't that just kind of sum up the entire Democratic Party? What about us, Kamala? The question is, are they even listening? In fact, let me ask you guys, in the last 4 years of the Biden-Harris administration, have you ever felt like they were the people actually listening to us, the American people? Drop me a quick yes or no in the comments down below. Let me know your thoughts, guys. More updates and analyses to come in our future videos, especially with the race as tight as it is, guys. Just don't forget to subscribe to the channel, tap that notification bell, and while I'm hard at work on our next update, why don't you guys take a moment, check out our other videos here on the channel. I just uploaded a new one on the huge backlash that Democrats are facing with Biden calling half of America garbage. Seriously, guys, I really don't think that there's any coming back from this for their party. And we got the video to prove it. So anyway, be sure to check that video right after this one. As always, thanks so much for hitting the like button and subscribing. Watch this video here next, and I'll see you guys on the next one.